There's nothing to be afraid of. There's no reason we can't be friends.
You're gonna have to write a strongly worded letter to D&D Beyond.
Anxiety, the tension can get any higher.
Go hard or go home, I say.
Interlopers.
Crikey! Better take it down quick!
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 9, part 1 of Crucible of Fate, the high-stakes, competitive, and open invitational Dungeons & Dragons game show. I'm your host and the killer DM for our festivities today, David Carter, and I am very excited for today's episode. We got a great cast of contestants and a really good room that I think is going to be extremely entertaining. First of all, if you're new to the show, you can go to crucibleoffate.com. All of the rules and the format of the show are there for you to read at your leisure. There's a little bit of homebrew stuff with all of my deities, so some information about the Pantheon is there as well. If you're interested in becoming a contestant, the application process is also on the website. I also suggest that you check out our Discord community. It's growing every day. I think we're up to 200 members now. It's a great place, a great community for D&D fans, Crucible of Fate fans. We're always organizing one-off adventures, some PvP fight nights, and we host watch parties for the newest episodes of Crucible of Fate as they come out, and those are always a lot of fun. And people are constantly talking about all things fantasy, books, movies, TV, and even sharing recipes and drink recipes that are themed to Crucible of Fate episodes. So if you want to join the Discord, the link will be in the video description below. Lastly, if you're enjoying the show, I strongly encourage you to head over to Patreon. Right now I've got 2 tiers of ways that you can support the show. For as little as the cost of a cup of Starbucks coffee per month, you can help me get to my goal of hopefully doing this full-time one day. We're trying our best to keep improving the show, keep the production value up, and improve the quality overall, and therefore your enjoyment of it. If this is working and you're a COF fan, then please do consider being a Patreon. I'm going to try to get another tier up there in the next couple of weeks, which will provide access to more of my homebrew world, as I'll be producing more and more lore, so NPCs, locations, history, all of those things to add a bit more depth and understanding of the Shadows Nigh game world, and also some of the characters and rooms that have been seen in COF already. I'll be giving more details about them as well, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to have the store up and running soon, so you'll be able to purchase any COF merch as we get that in place. So I'll be spending the next couple of weeks trying to get merchandise items and manufacturers lined up, but we'll be sure to put out an announcement when the store is up. Okay, that's it for me. Now it's time to meet our contestants for tonight. All right, so let's meet everybody tonight. First up is Paul.
G'day, I'm Paul. I'm 33. I'm Australian from Queensland, the place where we have all the dangerous animals which try to kill you, but we also send all the ads out across the world to try and get people to come here. I've been playing D&D since the start of COVID, got introduced by one of my best mates, and fell down that rabbit hole very quickly, got very interested in it and just loved it ever since then. Unfortunately, my mate passed away a year after that, so stopped playing with him, obviously. Now I play every week, DM every week as well for friends and family. And every time I think about Adam, who was the guy who introduced me to that. And yeah, just enjoy very much doing this and prepared for my character to die, I guess. Thanks.
Well, thanks very much for being here, Paul, and certainly sorry to hear about your friend, but I'm glad that he did introduce you to the game and very happy that you're here playing with us. I know it's like 2 a.m. or later now for you, so I appreciate you burning the midnight oil and playing through the night. So welcome to the table.
Got all that caffeine ready.
Good. Next up is Ben.
Hiya, I'm Ben. I'm from the UK. I've been playing D&D for about 5 or 6 years now. Nothing too exciting about me, I suppose. I did meet my wife through D&D, so I suppose that was easier than dating apps. But yeah, I've been playing with a few groups for the last few years. I'm renowned for losing characters at least 2 or 3 times a campaign, so I wouldn't be surprised if I do die very quickly. But fingers crossed.
Hey, at least you're ready for it. I certainly hope that's not the case, but 3 of you have to do it. So, all right, Laura.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I've been playing for about 8 or 9 years now, but definitely about 4 years consistently. I'm from Toronto. Again, I don't have too much to shout out for myself, but I do want to give a shout out to the Bodhana Group in Pennsylvania. They're a nonprofit that trains and runs therapy blended TTRPGs. So whether you're like a therapist or an educator, if you just want to learn more about it, you can go to the Bodhana Group. And the reason why I give a shout out to them is because I've done training with them and I'm studying to be a psychotherapist, and they're absolutely awesome. So I also am super excited to be here and maybe/potentially die a very glorious death.
Welcome to the show, Laura, and we'll certainly, if you want, put any of the contact details or information about the group in the video description below so people can check it out. Before we move to Hugh, just a quick notice that Laura and Hugh are joining the show together, and it's the first time that we've had partners on the show. So we're gonna give that a go, and it'll be an interesting experiment to watch. I can't wait to see what happens. So with that, Hugh.
Yeah, I'm Hugh. I'm partners with Laura. We met actually playing D&D as well. So it's one of the best paths to go down, apparently. But I first played D&D like 15 years ago, and then I became the forever DM like 5 or 6 years ago. So I'm excited to be a player. Hopefully I won't die too quick.
Well, I hope that for you as well, Hugh, and I'm glad that you get a chance to play. It's always nice for us forever DMs to get that opportunity whenever it comes our way. Welcome to the table. Next up, we have a familiar face, Ethan, who was with us at the beginning of episode 5, but had something come up and couldn't make it to part 2. So he is having the proverbial slate wiped clean and starting over with his character tonight. So welcome back to the table, Ethan.
Well, I'm glad to be back and glad to have that chance again. But I basically spent most of what I had at the start, but I'm excited to be here, and I look forward to playing through your eyes all and watching through as we desperately try to survive, and most of us don't. But I've been playing D&D for about 7-8 years, and I am a proud 4th edition apologist. 4th edition is my favorite. And I know that will generate some dislike and some disdain, but
hey, I'm with you. I haven't played a lot of 4th edition, but Matt Colville has convinced me of all the positive aspects of it, and I think a lot of false assumptions may have been made by a lot of people about 4E, so definitely don't feel bad about being a 4E apologist. I think there's more people than out there than you might think. Last but not least, we have Sean, who is an Eldritch patron or a Patreon supporter of the show. So definitely glad to have you at the table, Sean, and thank you very much for your support of the show so far, and hopefully continuing. I am certainly going to try to maintain my objectivity throughout the game, so definitely can't help you out, Sean. You're on your own. Good luck tonight.
No worries. Excuse me. I definitely appreciate it. And I mean, I've said it once, so I'll say it again. The fact that you're doing something that I only wish I had the patience, the time, the energy to do. I'm more than happy to contribute. But like they've said, I'm Sean. I've been playing D&D and really a bunch of different tabletop RPs for going on maybe 20 years or so now. I do feel like a little bit of an odd man out because unlike Ben and Hugh, I did not manage to meet my wife through D&D. Of all of our, for lack of a better term, interests in nerd culture, D&D is one that she does not share with me. So jokingly wearing a shirt with her picture on it, like I'm doing now, is the closest I'm ever able to get her to it. But I'm definitely ready to jump in and ready to go. I appreciate the opportunity.
Great. All right, guys, with that, we have met you all, and it is time to start Crucible of Fate. I wish you all the best of luck, but only 3 of you are going to survive. So let's find out who those 3 are when we get back after the trailer. Okay, see you in a minute, guys.
It's time. Bring them. Offer them riches, offer them glory. I don't care. Just bring me their souls.
As you wish, Master.
Yes.
You think you have what it takes? Every roll can mean life or death. 120 contestants. Who will survive? Who will win? It could be you. This is high stakes D&D.
You all become aware of a dim blue light beginning to get brighter and brighter, illuminating the circle of contestants within the Crucible of Fate. You immediately take notice that there are more and more empty spots within this ring of contestants that hovers about a foot off the ground. You can count 24 empty spaces of those that have perished before potentially your time entering the Crucible. Out of the shadows, you see the familiar form of Theramgul once again standing in the center of the ring, a light from an unknown source illuminating him from above. Welcome, everyone. I hope you had a nice, relaxing time since our last episode. You can see plainly that Dregs is still not with us. He has informed me that he has narrowed his search to a small village and that he is surveilling his prey. That Dregs is a very effective hunter. He is most cautious, though, when given the opportunity, although he can be a bit reckless when the time calls for it. But don't worry, he will have his prey back here amongst us sometime soon. In the meantime, I am happy to fill in for him and announce those of you who will become our next group of contestants today. And so, without any further hesitation, please let me read who will be playing tonight. He pulls a scroll from inside his robes. Kiri, Ezekiel, Larbak, Matt, Astian Lim, who rejoins us from a little bit of an impromptu discussion from the powers that be that pulled him away last time. It's good to have you back, Astian. And last but not least, Turds Fargo. I'm not sure where the name Turds comes from. It's a bit difficult to pronounce in my accent. Turds. Sounds like dirt. Anyway. The Eyes of Truth are very anxious to meet all of you, and I am happy to announce there's now 1,170 pairs of eyes that will certainly be watching everything you do and say, and keeping track of all of your mistakes and your triumphs and your suffering in your time here in the Crucible. But they are anxious to meet you, and I am anxious to speak to all of you once again. It has been quite some time now, almost a week and a half since the last time I got to speak to each and every one of you as you joined the Crucible. So, at this point, you all regain control over your bodies, your faculties, as you start to shift around, stretching muscles and joints that haven't moved for quite a while now. Please, if you don't mind, join me within the tavern. And he kind of puts his hands up and just opens them a bit, looking up towards the eyes of truth, and the shadow that's on the exterior of the ring of contestants fades away, and you get the sense of the stone walls and the wood and torchlight of the Fate's Hand Tavern as it kind of appears out of the shadow, forming a ethereal, hard to measure distance of the Fate's Hand Tavern that seems to shift whenever you look in any specific direction. Let us begin. I would like to hear from each of you now. Let us start with Matt, who I must say has now tied the record for the shortest name.
Right. So you all see a very tall, easily over 6 foot, lean, slight gut though, dark black skin as he stands up, just rubs his neck a bit, bald, silver facial hair. But what draws your attention is the eyes, these topaz eyes, which scans across all of you. You also see a scar running from his temple to his jaw. He's got khaki overalls that have a few holes in them, as well as a khaki top that's half unbuttoned, just showing a bit of scale mail, which looks very well worn. On the left breast button pocket, you see his name, Matt. On the right button pocket, you see another word which says Le Chasseur de Rats. And as he goes to walk towards where all the equipment is, you see on the back of his khaki top says a slogan that says, "You got pests, we got solutions." As he walks over there, he grabs up his short sword, puts on a bow, a shield, stretches out and goes, "Oh, Struth, that's it's a bit tight in those confines there. I mean, after everything here, it's not really good for the tall people, you could say. Maybe put in a bit more of a stretch in that sense. I don't know, are you after a pest controller? I mean, the things we've seen, that they're not really my kind of thing."
There are certainly many pests here, Matt. Perhaps we can talk should you survive round one. Maybe we can get you out of your confines and do a little cleanup around the tavern, huh?
Oh, anything to stretch out's pretty nice. Oh, as he bends over and just rubs his calf muscles.
Nice to meet you, and welcome to the Crucible of Fate. Good luck. Larbak, please, tell us a bit about yourself.
So what you see is a reasonably tall and fairly built red-skinned hobgoblin. He's wearing robes that maybe were once considered nice, black with gold trim, or what was gold. There's a few holes, a few worn out bits. It almost looks like it's third hand. He doesn't have too much that stands out apart from bright gold eyes. He has a dagger at his hip, some potions at his hips, on a little belt, and a crystal that hangs from his wrist. And as he comes down, he sort of stands up and is, "Wow, Faramgul, this is not what we agreed. I was not expecting this, and I am most unhappy." He turns and looks at everyone else. "Oh no, I am not in for a treat today."
I apologize, Larbak. I did not mean to deceive you. You're welcome to submit a complaint. It's no problem.
I might just do that.
I encourage you to do so. You may not hear back for a while. It is the abyss and all. Bureaucracy and such is not really our strong point.
Bureaucrats, wonderful.
Well, I hope that the excitement of the games elevate your mood, Larbak. You're welcome here in the Crucible.
Thanks.
Kiri, I hope that perhaps you are in a better mood than Larbak here.
Absolutely. So Kiri looks around in the Fate Hands Tavern with a mixture of awe and definitely suspicion at Tharangul. She's a spry halfling, glowing green eyes, fair skin. She's got fiery red hair and has bones sticking out of it, and so it looks more like a bird's nest than a hairstyle. Her clothes are practical, and she's definitely seen a fight or two in her day. And she's holding a white squirrel. And because she's a halfling, the white squirrel actually looks more like a cat size. She's got potions and a sling along her belt, thick studded armor, and a scimitar. She looks around frantically for someone, and then when she spots Zeke, she calms down and gives him a little wink, and she mutters quietly to her squirrel, "Don't worry, Snickers, we got this, but maybe this battle's a little too big for you." And the squirrel nods and scuttles around, jumps at her hair, and hides away.
Welcome to Kiri, and Snickers, was it?
Snickers, yeah, she's super cute. She loves nuts.
She does look quite cute. I hope nothing happens to her. Would you like her to stay behind during the games, or will she be entering with you?
Maybe she should stay behind, actually. And immediately she goes into her hair and pulls out Snickers, and she just gently sets him on the ground.
Welcome to both of you, and good luck. And I noticed your look of concern for Ezekiel, or Zeke, as you said. Perhaps you should go next, Ezekiel.
Ezekiel kind of steps down. He's like a tall human with a wry smile. He's wearing splint armor and a shield and a longsword over like a well-worn traveler's outfit. Everything about the outfit is well maintained, but clearly well used. The cloak is worn, the armor maintained, but definitely some dents in there. Pretty much screams traveling adventurer. He's got his kite shield has a huge, bright, angelic, golden-looking symbol on it, but he also wears a longsword that's made of obsidian and has infernal runes etched into it. He also steps down, glances around, slightly tense at first until he sees Kiri as well, at which point he goes, "Kiri, I told you we can't accept any more adventures from shadowy figures with skeletal hands. That was the last time."
Seemed like a good idea at the time, okay?
That's what you said last time.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, come on, you two. Please don't fight. There's plenty of opportunity for that. Come on now. Everything okay?
We'll sort it out in the ring.
Yeah. This we'll see how this goes, Tharangul. This adventure you've put before us.
I wish the two of you the best of luck. I mean, I would hate to see you in emotional turmoil should something terrible happen to one of you.
Why do I not believe you?
I'm offended. I care very much about each and every one of you. Didn't want to cut you off. Zeke, is there anything else you want to add before we move on out of character?
No, that's all. I'll just walk over and stand nearby Kiri.
Astian, it's been a minute, several days in fact. Welcome back to the Crucible. I trust your time away was not too stressful.
Well, my job must be done here, so I have returned. Though, I must say, your company was slightly lacking during my time away. It was quite enjoyable to see everything. And he kind of steps forward, and he's wearing rigorously maintained leather strips with metal plates on them. He's holding a shield, and at his side is a warhammer, and 2 small axes hang off of his belt at the back, just below a maul that hangs from his back. And he kind of steps forward and looks around. He's an older humanoid who looks like he's just to the point where everything is starting to go gray. His hair is silver, but you can just barely see the remains of blonde in it. And he looks around. I'm glad you haven't changed the place.
Well, it's such a welcoming, attractive environment. Why would I want to change it? But I appreciate your appreciation.
A familiar setting is always welcome.
Best of luck to you as well, Astian. I hope that this time around nothing interferes with your progress throughout the games for today. And lastly, turds. Turds. Man, that's hard to say.
Yes, it is I, the one and the same. A voice heard as pushing through to sort of stand front and center, as though taking a stage. A small, dark-skinned gnome wearing several layers of fine color-coordinated clothing steps forward. A faint but pleasant aroma wafting from him of aged spices, sort of a smell of old spice, if you will. He removes a small pack and shield, tossing it to the ground and sort of propping one of his feet up on it in a Captain Morgan-esque manner. His clothing and armor consists of a 3-piece suit, long coat with a cape on it, very extravagant, a slouch hat with an oversized feather, very bougie. All of it golden orange colors with shades of brown and black. His visible gear, several pouches and a rapier at his side. A large waxed mustache bounces as he speaks, and when he removes his hat to bow, reveals a smooth bald head. It is I, the one and only Turds Fargo Esquire, renowned expeditionist and gentleman adventurer extraordinaire. I have no doubt my exploits have made it to the reaches of wherever it is you come from. He says, passing from one to one, making eye contact with everyone. Or perhaps you're lucky enough to be the proud owner of the written collection. He then pulls from the pack a book showing the cover to the group, which he then recites the title, same as his name, Turds Fargo Esquire, renowned expeditionist and gentleman adventurer extraordinaire. Whatever the case, I know none of you having arrived here, willingly or not, could have guessed that you would be joining me on the latest adventure. Though I must admit, I'm still uncertain if this was actually the cursed land destination that my company benefactors intended, as I seem to have misplaced a bulk of my equipment and my working crew. He sort of trails off looking around, but snaps back into it. But should you see any crates marked GLE, or happen upon any of my laborers looking for their superior, please let me know.
I will be sure to do that, Turds, and I have to say, I've read your book. It's quite riveting. I'm looking forward to the next chapter. I've done a bit of writing myself in the past. Perhaps if you don't survive today, you'd permit me to write your final chapter for you.
Well, that would indeed be a very large if. However, you and I, we can talk later on.
You're right, and I don't mean to doubt you, and it is truly an honor to be around someone with a distinguished reputation as yourself, and I have to say, even just the stance that you're making is quite impressive. Perhaps I could try. And Thermgul kind of waves his hand, and a barrel appears beneath his foot as well, as he kind of like leans on it. What do you think, Turds? Does it suit me? No? I think you pull it off better than me.
Do not sell yourself short.
Thank you. That's very kind. So, quite a collection of characters we have here tonight. You're all very personable. I feel like all of you have cemented a place in my heart. I think I'll be sad when one of you or three of you perish. I don't know how I'm going to comfort myself tonight. Okay, apologies. I digress there a bit. It seems like it is time to move on to the next step in our festivities for this evening. I will now give all of you 5 minutes of time to yourselves. Get to know one another a little bit better. This could, in fact, be the last time you get to speak to one another, certainly as a group of 6. So I encourage you to share and emote and just make one another comfortable, if you will, and we will just sit here awkwardly and observe you. Okay, you have 5 minutes. You may begin.
Hertz will immediately walk over to Matt and simply say, You are one of strong build, a laborer for certain. Are you sure you're not one of my crew?
Matt will slap his belly and be like, well, crikey, yep, I definitely got a strong build down here, but no, I don't do hard work, not really.
Oh, very well. And then, not necessarily disrespectful, but in a somewhat snooty type manner, he will turn around and just immediately start walking towards someone else.
As you turn around, you hear a cough behind you, and you see Zeke walking up to you with a book, and he goes, Turds, would you sign my? And you see a well-worn copy of your book that you wrote. He goes, just please. I'm a big fan, you know.
Nothing but brighting up of his eyes as you present the book, as if he already had the quill in his hand. He has it produced. Oh, absolutely. If there's one thing Torres Fargo Esquire, renowned expeditionist and gentleman adventure extraordinaire, has time for, it is his fans. And he'll, without even looking, if the book is in fact that book, he'll just go ahead and sign it.
Zeke just takes it, like holding it with like reverence, and starts like blowing on the ink to try and dry it. He's like, "Thank you, sir. I'll treasure this always until my death. Beyond my death, hopefully, for a long time. Yes."
Yeah. Let's not get too hasty. We don't want you to die too soon, my dear. And Kiri looks over at Matt and notices the rat chaser and the exterminator. So you do rats. You don't do squirrels, right? Like Snickers is safe here. Like
Well, I mean, sometimes they are vermin, and it depends who's paying me, but yeah, I don't think that's on my target list tonight. I think we got bigger fish to fry, so it's fine. Though I do know good squirrel stew, but, you know, you supplement that with rat or whatever we might, well, I mean, it's fine.
And she looks over at Theramgul and says, don't get any ideas. I expect to see Snickers upon my return. Keep the stew to yourself.
You have my word.
Larbak will awkwardly sidestep up to Turds, just shuffle his way over. Oh, I see we have another celebrity here today. Well, I did try to write my book, but it doesn't seem to have as well received as yours. I did not quite have the fanboy population. Any tips?
Well, I must say, excuse me, the fact that you are here now puts you on an adventure with Terrence Fargo Esquire, renowned expeditionist and gentleman adventurer extraordinaire. That alone, I think, would be enough that we could come together. Maybe our publishers, our writers. Well, I, of course, write all my own writings. I have someone else look through them for public sake. But maybe we could collab on something.
Right. Sounds good. And he just awkwardly side shuffles away again.
Bastion kind of has been watching this whole exchange, just confused. Probably the only one who doesn't recognize Turds is like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to keep your whole name straight. Is it all right if I call you Turds, my friend?
Absolutely. Turds Fargo. There are some that just know me as the renowned gentleman adventurer. I'm completely fine. Sorry, is Gentleman Adventurer your occupation or a title that you've taken? It is both. One and the same.
Well, I may not recognize you yourself, but I'm sure that given time I could recognize your work.
Not
trying his best to not offend him.
Turds Fargo, if not, is a generous man, and he will just slide right up next to you, probably invading your personal space a little bit, and hand you a copy of his book.
This seems like a good time to interject, and it has been over 5 minutes now. I've been a bit gracious with your time, but the future is inevitable, right, as they say? So, next will be a quick review of the items within the gift shop before we get to your intermission actions. I would like to review those with all of you. And as he's speaking, the shadows shift as the Fate's Hand Tavern disappears and is immediately replaced by the display cases of the gift shop. Turning his attention first to the case with the Tier 1 items within, you see that a cream-colored pearl about 2 inches in diameter is still there from last episode. Joining it in Tier 1, a potion. This potion's crimson liquid regularly pulses with dull light, calling to mind a heartbeat. In Tier 2, in the central display case, another potion. This potion's syrupy liquid looks like liquefied iron, kind of just moves around slowly as the potion rotates in midair. Next to it, you see a small ring, a thin gold ring to be more precise, sculpted to resemble flames writhing around a red garnet gem. In Tier 3, a delicate silver chain with a brilliant cut black gem pendant. And lastly, another ring. This one, a silver ring with a thick band sculpted to look like links of a chain. The two ends of the chain meet at and are separated by a rectangular emerald. And those are the gifts we have in the shop for you all this evening. I trust that they have drawn the attention of some of you, and I look forward to the consequences of your purchases. With that, we will now move into the intermission actions. Only 4 of you will be rolling for your intermission actions today. So we will start with Matt. Can you please roll your roll of choice? That's an int save though. Is it just a straight roll?
Okay.
Oh, you got a 14. Okay, so there's no modifier to it?
Nah,
okay.
No modifier.
Right, no problem. Larback. Larback with a 19. So just a reminder that since Kiri and Ezekiel are soulbound, they will not have a pregame intermission action, so I'm skipping over to Astian. A 7. Turds. A 12. Greetings, Larback. Welcome to your intermission action. Tell me, what would you like to do? And also, are you feeling better about your situation now that you've had to meet some people?
I am feeling better. I was a little bit hostile when I arrived. It was just a bit of a shock, if I must say so. When you said to me I would have a chance of survival, I didn't really think I had to die first.
Well, look, I'm glad that you're feeling a little better, and believe me, no offense was taken. Perhaps we can start over. That's agreeable.
Sounds good to me. So, how about the gift shop?
Oh, you'd like to go shopping. Excellent.
Retail therapy.
It makes everyone feel better, doesn't it? Although in this case, the consequences may be... we'll see. The Fate Tavern fades away. Once again, the display cases of the gift shop appear around you. So, tell me, Larback, what has caught your eye?
Just pausing in front of the displays. I want that one and that one. He points to the 2 tier 1 items. The pearl and the potion.
Okay. Let us start with the pearl, Larback. Would you like it just for this evening or permanently?
Well, it does suit my style, so permanently. Please.
Oh, I appreciate the manners. It's very courteous of you. Perhaps we can deal with this one completely before you make your decision for the next one. So, tier 1, I will need 1 d20 roll from you, please, Larback. $11.
I feel good about that.
Lose 1 spell slot from your highest level of spell available.
Is that permanently?
Yes, and it shifts as you level.
I can't believe I'm doing this so soon. Fate Sphere.
Very well, 1 Fate Sphere marked off, Larback. Don't feel bad, you're not the first to do this. Another roll, please. A 5. Vexed. Your int and wisdom-based ability checks are at disadvantage.
Well, I never was much the learned sort, so fine.
Very well. Moving on to this potion. Oh, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Just so you're aware, this is a Pearl of Power. I don't know why I'm saying it in Therangul's voice. So, while this pearl is on your person, you can use an action to speak its command word and regain 1 expended spell slot. If the expended slot was of 4th level or higher, you recover a 3rd level slot. So you can go ahead and add a Pearl of Power into your inventory from D&D Beyond. Next, I believe you're interested in the Tier 1 potion. Tell me, would you like this one to be just for the next game or for the entire evening for this episode?
I think the evening. Go hard or go home, I say.
Very well. Then once again, please roll a d20. A 19. Don't think you're going to like this one. -2 charisma.
Oh, that one's definitely getting a fate sphere.
I figured. Oh, Larback slowed.
One more time.
I feel your mood beginning to sour once again, Larback. I am sorry.
It is a roller coaster. Whatever that is.
Hampered. Your attack rolls are at disadvantage.
Does that include spell attack rolls?
Yes, it does.
One more time and that's it. I'm not a gambler.
I wouldn't be too quick to make that assessment. 11. Oh, we have seen this before. So, the more things change, the more they stay the same. 1 spell slot is gone.
I will accept that.
Very well. So
4.
It's okay, you still have 2 left.
Yay!
Is there anything else you would like to purchase for this evening, Larback?
Do you offer will writing services?
I'm certainly willing to listen to what you have to say during our next break, if you'd like.
Okay.
Take heart, Larback. Many unexpected things happen within the abyss. I would not feel bad about your predicament. Okay.
The potion, does that take effect when I take the potion?
It does.
Or is it straight away? Yeah.
Yep, so that one will take effect. You could say that it's been used now if you'd like, and then it'll take effect for the entire rest of the episode. So this one, so are you taking it now?
I'm not yet.
Okay, no problem. But just so you are aware, when you drink this potion, it removes any exhaustion you are suffering and cures any disease or poison affecting you. And for the next 24 hours, you regain max hit points from any hit die that you expend during a short rest. So this is a potion of vitality.
Would that affect the Vex condition or not?
I guess we will have to see once you drink.
I'll find out. Potion of vitality.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, I believe that is it, unless you have anything else for me, Ben.
That's it, thank you.
Welcome, Matt, to your pre-game intermission action. Tell me, what would you like to do?
Oh, thanks, Therangul. I mean, lots of good options. Things in the gift store are pretty nice, but I mean, kind of like to apologize to that short redhead one for saying that I might eat a squirrel. So if I could, is it parlay with her?
Yes, you.
That would be much appreciated.
Very well. Just hang on one moment, and I will invite her into the parlay circle with you. Greetings, Kiri. You have been summoned to a parlay circle by Matt. Would you like to accept or refuse?
I accept.
Very well.
Hello.
Then I will leave you for 3 minutes. Your time begins now.
Oh, g'day, Kiri. Like, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I really want to apologize about your little squirrel friend Snickers. Did not mean that I was going to eat it. I mean, most of the furry things I deal with are rats, and like we never kill them. It's always about rehoming as well. And I just really wanted to say sorry.
No harm, no foul. I know. Snickers looks very tasty. I get it. Absolutely.
It looks like a well looked after squirrel, and they're not the kind of ones which are actually tasty, from what I've been told. Not that I've ever eaten one, but yep, that's the thing. Anyway, part of this, I really want to just apologize. And I mean, you seem like the kind of person who also has this connection with animals, who doesn't really want to do harm to animals either. And I think like we could get along with that. Like it's all about, for me, it's all about, again, rehoming and trying not to do as much harm. I mean, I think we're going to have to do some harm to some things here, but I think we could team up and speak with animals or do something like that if you're interested. Obviously, your partner seems very capable as well, though a little starstruck by Turd. I mean, that guy seems like all flash, no substance.
Well, we definitely, I'm all with the do no harm to animals, but yeah, if we're facing a big bad guy, I'm definitely gonna go full force. As much as Zeke and I, we're husband and wife, we wanna make sure we work together. So in Hunter and Hunted, we're definitely looking to support everyone, but we'll watch your back if you watch ours.
For sure. I'm not great with the big monsters because they're generally the ones I deal with are the small ones. Yeah. But I do know a thing or two and I can help that out as well. So I definitely just want to know that we've got each other's back, and let fate decide what happens, I guess.
Yeah. I'll watch your back. I got a little bit of healing there, and we want to just make sure we can get through this together.
Exactly. I think, I've not seen any of the others really do that well against monsters, so probably not well for us just yet, but I think we stick together, increase our survival chances. That's the plan. Yeah. And then as soon as we can get through Hunter and Hunted, we're looking to make friends, but we want to make sure we don't fully commit.
I apologize, Kiri. I hate to interrupt you, but your time has expired. Yes, and I'm sure that you are on a good train of thought there, but your time is up. And I wish both of you good luck and in the future. Greetings, Turds. It is nice to be in your presence once again.
Well, thank you.
Tell me, what would you like to do for your intermission action?
I must admit, and I mean this in no disrespect whatsoever, as much as I would like to parlay with you, and I still intend to, from a strategic standpoint, being in this new world, I do have to first visit your gift shop.
I appreciate the thought of parlaying with me. I don't believe that would be super helpful for you, but I'm touched. Perhaps in the future I would enjoy hearing more about your adventures. But for now, certainly, the gift shop awaits. And as it takes form in front of you, you can see that Both the tier 1 items have already been taken, but all 4 items within tier 2 and tier 3 still remain. So, Turds, anything here catch your eye?
Indeed, and I must admit it is disheartening to see that there are already 2 missing. I do have a question before proceeding, and perhaps before inquiring, I should pray for the favor of one of the deities here. I believe fallen under the domain of Ulra, Avatar of Palion. My question, though, from a business standpoint, would you be willing to offer a deal, as it were, for bulk purchases, lessening consequences if someone were to take them all?
Lessening consequences. Oh, do you mean if you bulk buy all 4 remaining items, if I would give you a deal on the consequences? Wow.
Exactly.
Bold. Give me a persuasion check, please. Turds, listen, I truly am a big fan, but if I were to go around bending all the rules around here, people would start to lose some respect for me, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to decline, but I hope that this doesn't change your intent to purchase. You learn to be shrewd down here.
On that favorable, it is understandable. But yes, I shall stick to my word. I wish to purchase all 4 remaining items.
Well, okay, we have our work cut out for us, huh? First one, we'll do them one at a time, in case you change your mind. I will not hold you to all 4 right now. So, first up is the potion within tier 2. So I need your first of 2 consequences, please. Poisoned. Attack rolls and ability checks will be at disadvantage. And next one. A 1. Ooh. Slowed. Would you like to keep this potion just for the next game or for the entire evening?
I will be drinking the potion as I intended both potions upon initial purchase.
You'd like it to last all throughout the entire evening?
Yes. I apologize. Yep.
Very well. And this is a potion of invulnerability, so throughout this evening, you have resistance to all damage types. Next, would you like to do the ring with the red gem, perhaps the silver chain with the black gem pendant, or the chain-like ring with the emerald?
If you have a preference, I am more than willing. Otherwise, we may continue upward. The ring with ruby?
Okay, very well. Let's have your first roll. A 12. You gain 1 level of exhaustion. Next roll, please. Five. Int and wisdom-based ability checks are at disadvantage, so no further damage there. You have acquired a ring of fire resistance. Next up, first tier 3 item, the delicate silver chain with a black cut gem pendant. First roll, please.
Okay.
A 12. Another level of exhaustion.
And just okay, and just for what Kurt was saying, that all of these, he intends to keep everything to the extent of which you can keep it, rather than just for all items.
Okay, permanent then. Yeah, thank you. Why I have such a hard time remembering that. Okay, so first roll of 3 was another level of exhaustion, so you're at exhaustion level 2.
Okay.
Next roll, please. 6. Shamed. Your charisma-based checks are at disadvantage. So no real further damage there. And next roll. 2. Poisoned. Attack rolls and ability checks are at disadvantage.
And they do stack, correct? Poison?
They do.
Okay. As much as I do not want to squander anything you have provided, we will have to use one of the fate spheres to roll again.
I understand. Please roll again. Lose 10% of max and current HP. Just keep in mind every time you level to reassess what your max would have been. Yep. Okay.
Right.
So with the 3 consequences out of the way for your first tier 3 item, this is a periapt of proof against poison. So while you wear it, poisons have no effect on you, and you are immune to the poisoned condition and have immunity to poison damage. So both stacks of this poison no longer affect you.
So I used the fate sphere instead of poison to get that 10% max HP.
Yeah, right. Jeez. But you still had one from the
maybe I
first
shouldn't
one,
have
right?
that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have just let it go.
So, I don't think did I write that down? Oh, it was poisoned and slowed, yeah. Well, I mean, you had no way of knowing, so.
Yeah, so as I'm tracking for the pendant, 1 level exhaustion, gained, and 10% maximum current HP for that one, correct?
That's right. Would you like to continue shopping, turds?
I am, when I say something, I am a man of my word. Whether I got the deal or not, I did promise I would purchase all of them. And indeed, this is purely a strategic move.
I understand.
I deny the advantage of any enemies while taking those wondrous items to be used against us. While at the same time I sacrifice myself, willing to take these consequences, so that the items will still benefit those in need towards protection.
Well, is there truly nothing that you can't do? So magnanimous and generous, turds. I'm becoming more and more enamored with the story of turds all the time. Very well, time for the final ring. So, first roll, please. 11. Lose 1 spell slot from your highest spell level, should you have any. Next roll, please. 6. Shamed, once again. Charisma-based checks at disadvantage. And final roll. 17. -2 int. -2 off the top of your int ability score. Very well, turds. That concludes all the consequences. So, just to let you know, this final ring that you have purchased is a ring of free action. While you wear this ring, difficult terrain does not cost extra movement, and in addition, magic can neither reduce your speed nor cause you to be paralyzed or restrained. Well, you have cleaned me out, turds. I know that there were some expensive costs there, but I believe you got some powerful items as well. I hope that your combination works out well for you.
The only way to know is when we get in there, but I have faith. Charter's Fargo will make it through.
I share your faith, turds. Good luck in the game to come. Greetings, Astian.
Greetings.
I apologize for the wait.
Oh, no, such things happen, I am certain.
Tell me, what would you like to do for your first intermission action?
I would like to talk with all of them.
With all of them?
Yes, I would like to parley with everyone.
I am afraid for each intermission action, you can only speak with one person.
Ah, then we'll take the easiest way out. Then we will speak with Kiri and Zeke, as they are called.
A wise move. 2 birds with 1 stone, huh? One moment, please. Would you like to directly talk with Kiri or Ezekiel?
I believe that Ezekiel will be more open to the bluntness of this proposal.
Very well. Ezekiel, you have been summoned to a parley circle by Astian Lim. Tell me, do you accept or refuse?
I'll accept.
Very well, gentlemen, you have 3 minutes to parley starting now.
Greetings. I had wished to speak with everybody at the same time, but there's only so many that I can talk to at once.
Of course. You wishing to parley with Kiri and I?
Yes, I believe that the simplest way to go about this would be the straightforward path.
I agree. Well, I can tell you, Kiri and I are certainly looking to make an alliance in the games today. There's as we've seen from the past games, there's some advantage to waiting until later games, as we don't know what may play out. But I can tell you, if you watch our backs, we'll watch your backs, and we'd like to form an alliance.
Well then, that is exactly what I was hoping for. I was simply going to state, if you help me, I will help you, and if you harm me, I will harm you.
It's a reasonable position to take.
I am glad that it is apparently so reasonable. It has served me well in the past.
Of course, this game is designed for alliances. It's quite clear from what we've seen. How did you find your way here anyways?
I walked in the door. Well, a door that wasn't meant for me.
Interesting. I think we also
have a job.
Huh?
I had a job to do, and it seems that it is similar for you.
Is your job here? Further into the abyss?
Well, the subject of my duty lays somewhere in here.
Of course. It's a strange place we've arrived at.
Strange, but not quite unfamiliar. At the very least, the tavern is most welcoming.
Yes. I was surprised at some of our allies. To find someone so famous here was quite a surprise.
Well, I've been well removed from the field of literature for some time.
I apologize, gentlemen.
I'm not quite sure
3 minutes.
where he stands.
3 minutes are up. I cannot permit you to speak any further. I believe your main intent...
Very cool. The conversation was just getting good.
I agree with
you. The rules are the rules.
I was looking forward to hearing more, but, rules are rules, and as the host, I must enforce them. And with the two of you being our final bit of intermission action, no pun intended, we will now move on to the next game. So, I will see you in the group with everyone else. You find yourselves among the fellow contestants once again as intermission actions have come to an end. Tharamgul is, of course, waiting for you all with a wide grin on his face. Welcome back, everybody. That was very informative intermission actions from me. Some of you have very expensive taste. I'm impressed. But now it's time to move on to the first game, Hunter and Hunted. And I can tell you, I am very excited to see what you are going to go up against, as I imagine all of the Eyes of Truth are as well. Perhaps, Matt, if I could get you to roll a d20, please. 4. A 4. Very interesting. Only a couple of episodes have gone by since we have heard from Anorak and the wizard that destroyed his village. It appears it is time to pay him a visit. I'm sure he will be watching from the wings, pun intended, with eagerness. So if you would all follow me, please, to the gated gallery. And before you, the Fatesand Tavern fades away as you see the massive doors of the gated gallery open as you all move in behind Tharamgul as the room kind of shifts around you. There you see the rows of monolithic shapes, many of which that are now lit. Tharamgul moves to stand in front of the Hunter and Hunted column as the gate makes its way from the back towards all of you, as the shadow of it now stands before you, ominously, just dark, shadowy fog. Is there anything anyone would like to say or do before you enter?
First, Fargo will draw his rapier and say, "Huzzah! Onward!" as if leading the group.
We'll loose the warhammer.
Follow that man.
Or gnome.
Or that.
Okay, so everyone just follows in? Nothing special anyone wants to bring to
Yeah.
Okay, all right. As you all enter within the dark portal, you feel a cold emptiness that envelops you. Right away, you are grabbed by shadowed hands that pull you forward deeper and deeper towards your unknown destination. You begin to hear the sound of rain, heavy rain, and thunder in the distance. you start to feel a cool wind as light emerges around you all once again. As you emerge from the gate, being propelled forward by the shadowed hands, you find yourselves in an observatory. The heavy wind tearing through areas of this observatory where the walls have been knocked down over the passage of time. A heavy wind is pushing through these openings and crossing through the entire length of the observatory. The heavy rain causes you to look up as you see that the entire ceiling, 30 feet up, and then the start of a glass hemisphere, which is 40-foot radius, is open to the night sky. With the rain, you're unable to see much but darkness above you. However, in the distance, as you appear through these holes, with each flash of lightning, you can see mountain tops, and you immediately get the sense that you are at a very high altitude. In fact, when you breathe, it's slightly difficult to get enough air. Not so much that it is affecting you, but you notice the lessened amount of oxygen due to the height, or altitude, I should say. Looking at the floor, you can see that it is tiled and that there's a mosaic of incredible intricacy and design, but it's been weathered with age. These designs have now faded, but at one time, perhaps hundreds of years ago, they must have been a marvel to behold. Where the walls have fallen down in this room, and in the areas where there are rocks in these breaks of the walls, these are all areas of difficult terrain for your characters. This difficult terrain also provides half cover for you if you're standing in it, or 3/4 cover if you're lying down. A couple of other things that you notice as your senses start to take in all of the information that is being thrown at you very quickly. There are 2 large rectangle platforms here and over here. These rectangular platforms are 20 feet square and are just 2 feet or so off the ground, with a step leading up so that you could walk on top of them. Up against the wall on top of each of these rectangular raised areas is a massive mirror, and these mirrors are depicted by the blue gems being the frame of the mirror, and then the white gems being the glass in the center. These mirrors are 30 feet tall and go all the way to the top of the wall, where it transitions into the start of the glass observatory hemisphere. Also of note is this platform here in the corner, which has a stairwell, kind of like a curved stairwell that leads up to the top of it. Where this black gem is a couple of blackboards with chalk writing on it that you're unable to read from the distance with which you are from the platform. This circular area with the green gem is another raised platform with a telescope. And this telescope is just a normal sized telescope, about 3 feet in length. And you notice that it has 2 glowing circles of energy. One very small, just room enough for your eye, and then a bigger one on the end. This matches the glowing energy of a massive telescope, which is supported by these 2 pillars and a mechanism on top of these pillars that allow it to move around the observatory back and forth, up and down, and also to rotate all the way around. So someone standing here could look in any direction from this vantage point high in the mountains. So, as we are about to begin Hunter and Hunted, just to point out who is who, first up, responding to number 1 and having the red base is Astian Lim. Number 2 is Kiri with the green base. Number 3 is Ezekiel with the yellow base. Number 4 is Larbak with blue. Number 5 is Matt with orange. And then we have here in purple with number 6 is Turds. So before we kick off Hunter and Hunted, I would like everyone to roll their initiative, but I'd like to do it in order, starting with Matt, please. Okay, so we have Matt. Turds. Turds with a 7. Astian.
Sorry, ignore that.
Minus 1,000,000 points for you, Larbak.
Again.
Okay, so just gonna scroll up just so the viewers can see it. We have Astian with a 15. Back, Larbak. Larbak has a 12. Okay, Kiri. An 8.
Not so big money.
Ezekiel.
Ooh.
A 3.
Ooh.
Getting those low rolls out now.
Yeah. My in-game initiative is about as fast as my out-of-game initiative.
As you all become accustomed to the layout of the room and take in what must truly be an ancient, historic site of significance, and witness the cruelty of nature without too much care, your attention is brought to the fact that a soft blinking purple light begins to strobe like a heartbeat within the entire room. This purple light permeates everywhere, and someone is certainly aware that you have arrived. Suddenly, from across the room, the mirror straight across from you seems to liquefy as waves ripple across its surface before a massive form emerges through.
Oh, shit.
What have we here?
Don't like that.
Damn.
Oh, it's too big for the camera. Hold on, let me bring it around.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Let's do a slow pan
Okay.
of the creature.
Can we re-roll that monster choice roll?
Just 1 second here. I'm just going to turn him around for a second while I do the description.
What if we said pretty, please?
So once again, this creature was painted by my buddy at Night and Sun on Instagram. There will be a link down in the video description below to check out all his other amazing work. So,
Sick.
that being said, emerging from the mirror, a 20-foot tall avian humanoid hybrid now stands before all of you. It looks down, glaring at each of you in turn with piercing, studious eyes. Its wings unfurl with a great flap before you. Its massive wingspan, both terrifying but beautiful, as you can see what looks like a gateway into another dimension, some sort of astral dimension where you can see space, stars, constellations, and galaxies. And as he takes in all of you and your sudden appearance within this observatory. He glares down, and as his neck kind of bends and he tries to get closer to each of you, kind of like moving with this bird-like way about him, he says,
It's not time yet. No one is supposed to be here. The moons have not shifted. The barrier is still up. Too soon. This means Theramghoul, that conniving trickster, is up to no good again. I will put short work to his interference.
and with that, we will begin our combat, everyone. What would you like to do, Matt?
Matt will take a breath and go, "Crikey! Have a go at the size of that one!" What? And as he stares at it, he will use his Hunter's Sense feature to glean any damage, immunities, resistance, or vulnerabilities of this creature.
Okay, sounds good. I will send you those. Just give me 1 second. If there were any, I would have sent them to you. There are none.
Fair enough. In that case, he will, "Crikey! This guy just looks like a regular Joe Blow, just bigger!" And with that, he will dash forward, or he'll move to the edge of the mirror, closest to him. Just there. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, he will use Slayer's Prey and designate that as my prey. And that's my turn.
Excellent. Okay, with that, it is Astian's turn.
Just kind of looks up at that. Well, I suppose there are things that make it to that size. And he will hit, I think it's 25 to 30 to directly behind the pillar in front of him.
Okay, so you're heading in that direction.
And as he goes, he will put away the Warhammer for now, just to have a hand free.
Okay, 25, and you use your free object interaction to stow your Warhammer.
Yep. And that's it for me.
Okay. Sounds good. Next up is Larback.
Okay. This is more than I expected for sure. I will take a diagonal left towards those rocks. But as I go past Ezekiel, I will use my bonus action to use the help action, which is a feature for me to do as a bonus. And both they and I will gain 1d6 plus 3 temporary hit points.
Okay, go ahead and roll your temporary hit points, please.
Great.
Okay, Larback and Zeke both gain 4 temporary hit points.
Hopefully this helps.
I try to pat you on the back as you run by.
I'm too swift. So as he gets down behind the rocks, as an action, he will then cast Mage Armor.
Action, Mage Armor.
And then just tuck down as small as he can.
All right, so you take cover, but you don't go prone, eh?
No.
Okay, so half cover. Next up is Kiri.
Upon seeing this big bad, Kiri kind of shudders to herself, looks at what Larvac did and said, I like that guy's idea. Cast Barkskin on herself. Wild shapes into a hyena for a bonus action, or a giant hyena, and then runs straight for the rebel on the screen to the left, right near Larvac. A hyena has 50 movement, so I should be able to get there and use the remainder of my movement to just climb into that rubble.
Okay, 45 puts you there.
Perfect.
Okay, a couple of quick housekeeping things I forgot to do, guys. So first thing, Barkskin, is that concentration?
That is concentration. Wild shape is not. But yeah, if you can mark it down so I can remember to.
Yep, I've got this beautiful little ring around you.
Perfect.
Okay, and Larvac, mage armor, not concentration?
Not concentration, and it lasts 8 hours.
All right, it is Turds Fargo's turn.
Make this extremely simple. Turds moves forward and right, diagonally, 15 feet. So I guess that would put him immediately behind Ethan, like a couple squares back.
Yeah, so I think with your two conditions, I think your movement, we're going to have to do it 1 square one turn and 2 squares the next, because I believe you have 2 factors limiting your movement.
Oh, slow?
That is a slow-moving turn.
So just 1. Yep.
Yep, so we'll go
That's
2
fine.
this time and 1 next.
Perfectly fine. Okay. That'll end the turn.
Okay.
Jesus, it makes that even funnier about the entrance scene than like double speeds.
Zeke, you are up.
All right. Zeke will try to run up behind the pillar. He's going to, as he runs by Kiri, he's gonna shout, "We're doing Alpha Zeta variant C minus with the D twisty bits," and then he's going to cast Hexblade's Curse on the creature. And he came in with his sword sheath, so he's going to immediately after sending like black arcane signals shoot up his arm and fly into the creature, and then a burst of black energy is going to shoot out from his hand as he casts Eldritch Blast as his main action.
Okay, so we'll put this purple marker is your Hexblade's Curse. Go ahead and make your attack roll, please. A 23 hits. Go ahead and roll damage, please.
And that's +2 with the Hexblade's Curse.
Right, so for a total of 12 necrotic, or which damage type? Force.
Yes, 12 necrotic, I believe.
It's force.
Force, yeah. Thank you.
All right. 12 damage done. Anything else for Zeke?
That's it. I'm just going to try to get behind the pillar and use it as cover.
Understood. So that is the end of round 1. At the beginning of round 2, it is the creature's turn. As it kind of cranes its head around looking to see where you're all dispersing off into, it says,
I must stop these interlopers. Who will be first?
A 4. Larvac.
Yeah, Fate Spear. Fate Spear, Fate Sphere.
Your 5th Fate Sphere being used to re-roll the target of the attack. Larback.
I think 4 has just got bad luck. Yeah, I'll take it.
You take it. Okay. You see that this creature stares intently at Larback, and its eyes begin to glow. As for its bonus action, it uses an ability called Corruption. Larback, I need you to please make a Charisma saving throw. 14. 14 is not enough, as this creature says to you,
There, little one. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's no reason we can't be friends.
as you are now charmed.
With charmed, I actually have advantage.
Okay, go ahead and roll again. 9.
Never mind.
So Larback is charmed. With its action, it begins casting at you, Larback. And as it casts Dominate Person, now that you are charmed, go ahead and give me another Wisdom saving throw.
I can't roll any higher.
That is a really good roll, but just one sec. I'm just reading something because you're already charmed. So I'm just reading something here. Sorry, give me a sec. So the way that this creature is built, it has that bonus action corruption ability. With the failed saving throw on that, you were effectively charmed as part of its bonus action. Now on its action, it is cast Dominate Person. So due to the fact that you're already charmed, you don't get another saving throw. So what I would like you to do is roll a d6 to determine who you will attack.
Oh, no, don't do it
As
to
the
me.
creature says,
I think you should provide me some assistance, little one.
If it's a 4.
if it's a 4, we'll reroll it. Okay, a 5. That would be Matt on the other side of the board.
Bring it.
If you could please eliminate this nuisance for me, I would be most grateful.
And being dominated, you are trying to kill.
I'm sorry.
So many questions. So.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yep.
Am I in opportunity attack range?
You mean if he moves out?
Yeah.
Hold on. So that trigger has not occurred yet, so we won't answer that question.
Oh, okay.
So is it me now?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
how
no,
far
wait,
away is
sorry.
he?
That would be on your next round. My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be on your next turn. Yeah.
Do we all see Lorback focus on a target?
Yeah, and you hear what the creature is saying. You can see clearly where it's looking, and then you see Larback beginning to kind of just act abnormally for what you know about him, what little you know about him. All right, next up it is Matt's turn. You just notice that Larback is giving you a bit of stink eye for no reason.
No worries. When you said it was windy here, would I, as an archer, know that this wind could affect the arch, like my arrows?
It will not. It's not mechanically relevant.
Very cool. Right, so bonus action, I'm gonna take my potion of heroism.
Okay, bonus action, potion of heroism.
I will move as far as forward as I can to the stairs.
Okay, hold on. So with that potion of heroism, you gain temporary hit points, correct?
Yeah, 10 temporary hit points.
And you are blessed as well.
Blessed.
And you blessed marker on you. Okay, where would you like to move?
Going along that wall I'm on. See if I can go. Actually, if I can go within diagonal towards the monster, towards the bird, I'll go 15 feet towards.
Yep, so that's 5 feet.
Yeah. So 15 feet towards it.
And 15.
Yeah. I will throw a dagger. Object interaction. Chuck a dagger at it.
Yep.
Which I don't know if it's inside 20 feet or not.
It's 25
Probably
from where you
not.
are.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. So it's disadvantage.
21 with disadvantage is enough to hit. Your aim is true as your dagger thuds into the midsection of the creature.
Okay, so it takes 7 plus. It also will then take. It would become with that hit. It becomes my favored foe, so it also takes another 1d4. And anyway, it hits with that. And I think my other thing, which is my Slayer's Prey, it takes another d6 damage as well. So
11 so far, plus another 4 for a total of 15 piercing damage.
Yep. So that's action, bonus action, and the rest of my movement, I will now move back 15 feet towards the stairs against the wall.
Back here or towards the stairs, you said?
No, so yeah, forward towards the telescope stairs.
15?
Yep. Oh, if I could get next to the wall, that would be great, but...
Yep, you can make it.
Sweet.
Yep, you're good there.
Cool. Yep, that's my turn.
Next up is Astian.
Does the creature have to concentrate on that spell?
Yes, the creature is concentrating currently. And I'm going to put a marker. Good call. Creature is...
Anything to be free.
Yeah, so I will make that save. So that was a total of 15, right? So the save would be 10. Okay, that is a fail.
So just while he's moving, Matt would be shouting out, "Danger! Watch out for it! Here it comes! Snap out of it!"
Nice. Yeah, no, I think you're good. It failed its concentration check. With that dagger hit, it kind of like lurches backwards as it stands on the platform of the mirror. Losing its concentration. And you are not dominated.
Still charmed.
Not dominated. I don't think that this... Yeah, it's not concentration from its corruption ability, so you're still charmed. Alright, with Matt's turn out of the way, it is Astian.
Okay, gonna move head into the kind of equal to the pillar for Ashton, head into his left, and then ahead 2 more spaces.
5, 10, 15.
Yeah, and I think that puts me within 20 feet to him.
It does.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and then gonna throw an axe. Object interaction to grab, action to attack.
Go ahead and throw your axe, please. An 8.
Never mind.
Your axe goes whistling past Just striking the mirror behind the creature. No, roll me a d20, please.
D20?
Yeah. It's less than 5, it'll hit the mirror. 15.
15.
You just miss. Your axe smashes into the wall beside the creature, missing the mirror narrowly.
Okay. Then back behind the pillar.
Back behind the pillar for the remainder 30 feet of movement. Is that it for Aston?
Yes, that is.
Next up is Larbak, who is charmed and is marveling at this observatory and this beautiful creature who has now appeared amongst you all, wondering what all the commotion is about.
Truly wonderful indeed. So I can't attack him, obviously. Does his charm stop me doing anything? Is it just a usual charm condition?
You just see him as an ally, but it doesn't stop you from taking actions or anything.
Cool. I would like to...
And just to be clear, the charm condition, it says, a charmed creature can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects. The charmer has advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature.
Cool. What I would like to do then is I would like to... It's a risk. I'm going to try and cast protection from evil and good on myself, which is concentration.
Yep.
Any creature that is aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead, they have disadvantage on attacks against me, and I also can't be charmed by them. If a target is already charmed or frightened, such a creature, the target has advantage in any new saving throw. So if I'm already charmed, it doesn't get rid of it, but if he comes under one of those categories.
Okay, it is not one of those categories.
Goody. So I feel better in myself, but that didn't really do anything. And then as a bonus action, I will reach out and touch Kiri's hyena form, and I'll use the help action to give us both temporary hit points again.
Okay, go ahead and roll those temporary hit points. All right.
4 temporary hit points.
4 temp. So that
I really like that 4.
That replaces your temp hit points from
replaces
before.
mine, yeah.
Yeah. But Zeke does not lose his, correct?
No, he doesn't. But that's right.
Okay. Right. And just
do I get a save against the charmed at all?
So you're charmed until the beginning of his next turn.
Okay.
And then it goes away. Right. And I'm also your large hyena, Kiri. It is large.
It is large.
So I'm just gonna put you on a large base. Kiri, it's your turn.
Yeah, Kiri looks like a very relieved hyena that Larbak's thirst for blood seemed to disappear. She gives him a little wink, and if she's able to move over, still within that rubble, but closer towards the creature.
Yep.
And if she can make a perception check, or if she can try and look at the chalkboard to see if it's close enough to be able to read or discern anything from that.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check. I'm going to say at disadvantage because of the distance and the fact that you're in combat.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to roll that twice.
The hyena have advantage on perception checks made with sight? Is that why you're...
I'm rolling. Sorry, you told me to roll disadvantage, so...
Yeah, I did.
Right?
Yep, I did.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good start.
Is that... And that's a +5, so... 21.
Yeah, 21. Okay, just going to take a look at the languages. So with a roll of 21, you are able to actually focus on the board, and what you see is drawings that depict various moons, and you can read that underneath one of the moons is written Nyla, and underneath the other one, they're kind of like drawn with like a dotted line showing their orbit. The other one says Palion, and you can plainly see that Palion is the sun, which the planet Oriya that you are on orbits around. And Nyla also seems to be orbiting around Palion. And for the 21, you can also see that some sort of eclipse is coming, although there's no date written to tell you when this eclipse is going to happen. But Nyla will be in between Palion and Oriya, casting darkness over the top half of the planet, which currently Palion is always beaming light down onto, because the planet does not orbit. Like, Palion is constantly shining light and heat down onto the top part of the planet, turning the top 15% of the planet into desert. And in the Shadows Nigh world, bit of a lore drop for your 21, a lot of people navigate by saying that they're moving brightward instead of north. So that's how people determine which direction they're going to go, is brightward towards the sun or darkward away from Palion. So you can see that at some point in the future, an eclipse will cause darkness across the entire planet.
Okay. I just want to remind you of my movement towards, within the rubble, towards the bad guy. Thank you.
How far do you want to move?
The movement was as far as I could, so I could see the blackboard as close as possible.
Okay, it's difficult terrain, so I think you said your hyena had, what, 50?
That's 50, so yeah, it shouldn't be an issue, hopefully.
So 5, 10, 15, which would make about 30 feet of your movement would get you to the end.
Yeah, we'll keep her there.
Okay.
And if I can quickly silent speak as much as possible. Oh, I'll have to check the range on that. I'll silent speak that to within 30 feet. I'll silent speak that to Larvac.
Okay, so Larvac, you learn everything that Kiri has just learned. Anything else for Kiri?
That's it, thank you.
All right, Turds, it is your turn.
Prior to moving his 5 feet that he can, he will, I guess, use a free action to pull out his dagger from his person that he just keeps on him, and he will attempt to throw it at the enemy.
Okay, so you go ahead and attempt to throw your dagger at disadvantage due to range. 19 with disadvantage. A great roll, and that is enough to hit. Go ahead and roll your damage, please. 5 piercing damage.
He'll say, "Let it be known that Turks Fargo, even in these dire conditions, still carries his weight." And then he'll shift over his 5 feet that he can move diagonally to the right and forward.
Diagonally right and forward.
Yep.
There we go.
This is canon, but with your slowed speech, all we hear is "let it be."
Okay, Zeke, you are up.
Yeah, Zeke's gonna take a quick glance to the side and seeing that it doesn't look like magic is gonna be sent his way from Larback. He'll kind of pull around the pillar again and try to shoot another Eldritch Blast before hiding back behind the pillar.
Okay, so you pop out to the right.
Pop out. Yeah. 19.
19 hits.
And then 6 plus 2, so 8 force damage.
8 force damage. So the creature is struck with a blast of force damage from Zeke. Anything else for Zeke?
No, that's it.
Okay, it is now the beginning of the creature's turn. Larback, you are no longer charmed. And it looks at all of you once again. Gliding off of the step, it moves forward. And will use its bonus action called Paralysis.
Oh boy.
Oh, this sounds fun.
So, any creature within 30 feet, which is everyone but Matt, I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Right.
As I get out a stack of paralyzed tokens. Astian, you make the save. As you begin to feel your body constrict and your muscles go tight, you shake off this effect from the creature, and you are still in control of your body. Zeke, you unfortunately fail and are currently paralyzed. Kiri, that 21 wisdom save, yeah, because you retain your wisdom while wild-shaped, you too pass and are able to shake off the effects. Larback, you are now paralyzed.
Oh. Yes, I'm free.
With the 19 turds, you fail the roll. However, you are not paralyzed. And I believe that's everyone. For its action, the creature begins casting. I need to grab something here. The creature casts Wall of Fire as flames erupt beneath the feet of Zeke and Astian. So you both begin to burn, as does Turds, being within 10 feet of this side of this wall of fire. So the flames burst up from the ground as it finishes its casting. That is a concentration spell. So I am going to mark that on the creature. And unlike some other spells like Moonbeam, with Wall of Fire, the damage is rolled right away. So, I need dexterity saving throw from Astian and Turds, because you were both not paralyzed. Zeke, unfortunately, being paralyzed, you automatically fail dexterity saving throws.
Yeah.
Zeke's having a rough go.
Yeah. You start to smell just smells of cooking going up.
There's nothing worse than the smell of burning flesh of anything.
Oh gosh.
Okay, with an 18 and a 9.
As soon as anything starts to burn.
Both of you fail, meaning all three of you take the max damage of this, which is 5d8 fire damage.
Never a good sign.
Low rolls, please.
Not bad. 13 fire damage with a 1 and 2 2s on those damage dice. So 13 fire damage to the three of you. That concludes the creature's turn. It's now round 3. Okay, Matt, you are up.
Okay, Matt will use his movement to run up to the chalkboard.
Okay, I'll say that used 15 of your movement.
Yep, I guess I had not really a cursory glance, but like not paying too much attention. How much would I be able to read, if any?
Okay, do you speak Abyssal? Read Abyssal?
Yes.
Okay. Just give me a quick... If you're just doing it quickly, then either your passive perception or investigation, or you can give me a roll at disadvantage.
Passive's 15.
15? Okay. So you two learn the information that I passed on, that at some point in the future there is going to be an eclipse between Nyla and Palion, which will cast the planet Oriya into darkness.
Yeah. Matt will be like, Struth, I don't really understand much about this, but crap! Turns around and goes, drops his shield, pulls out free object interaction where we pull out his longbow, and will attack, I guess.
Okay, so you drop your shield?
Yep.
All right. It's red crystal laser shield.
Thank you. And he will attack. Can I add? I'll do that. So that plus a d4. Oh, that's a for bless. Makes that 18 to hit.
18 is not enough. Your arrow punctures through the creature's robes, but continues on through to the other side.
No worries. And then we'll move up next to. I'll just stand there. There's no way, there's no space behind the blackboard. The blackboards aren't movable.
No, they're right up against the wall and seem to be permanently fixed there.
Yeah, no worries. That will be my turn.
Okay. Astian, it is your turn.
Okay, really don't want to be in the wall of fire, so I'm gonna scoot way forward. Gonna scoot right up next to our space-winged friend.
As you move forward, you immediately feel relief from the heat, as on this side, there is no discernible heat.
Okay, object interaction to draw the Warhammer and action to attack.
Yeah, let's have your attack roll, please. A 20 is enough to hit the creature.
Okay. And then going to spend a key point and going to Flurry of Blows to hit him twice more.
Okay, Flurry of Blows, key point used, 2 unarmed attacks. 17 is not enough, nor is a 10.
Okay, And also, it's going to move 5 feet towards the pillar, towards Zeke, because I hit it with bludgeoning damage on my turn.
All right, you smash the creature, and doing bludgeoning damage, triggering one of your abilities, you move the creature sideways as it stumbles forward, slamming into the pillar, and you notice it like kind of uses its reaction to brace itself and negate the damage, and like looks up at the telescope.
Be careful, little one.
Is that it?
And just gonna rotate a little bit further around behind him, and that's gonna be it for me.
Okay. So you've used...
I want to be as far away from the pillar of fire as I can, without the wall of fire as I can, without leaving his space.
Okay. So 25 puts you there. This thing rotates. I should just rotate
great.
it.
Hey, DM, quick question.
Yep.
When I took damage from the wall of fire, do I get a saving throw on paralysis?
Oh, good point. So it only says a paralyzed target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns.
Okay.
It doesn't state if you take damage.
Is it concentrating on that paralysis, or would it make a concentration check based on the hit?
Oh, yeah, and I did just hit it.
Yep, so he will do a
Or a
save,
wall of
but
fire
the
as well.
paralysis is not concentration for him because it wasn't a spell. It's like an ability of his, but he will still roll his concentration check for what he just did.
The wall of fire.
He fails.
Really likes those 4s.
Fours are the name of the game for this whole Crucible of Fate.
Taking the damage and being concerned about the telescope and its well-being, this wall of fire dissipates. Anything else for Astian?
No, that's going to be it for him.
Okay. Kiri, it is your turn as you are on the other side of the creature in giant hyena form.
All right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The giant hyena, noticing that her beloved is paralyzed and so near this terrifying creature, she'll run over towards Zeke, drop out of wild shape, and that would be, first question, DM, can I give a potion as a bonus action or a major action?
No, you can't administer a potion as a bonus action. That costs an action stone.
That would be a major action. Okay, but I can drop out of wild shape as bonus action. So I'm gonna run over, expend my movement to get to the right side of Z.
Okay. That's 15 movement so far.
Yeah. If you could, further away from the monster right there. Just behind Zeke.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you drop your wild shape?
Yeah, drop my wild shape as my minor action, and as my major action, administer my elixir of health.
Okay. Yep, you pour the elixir of health. Can you just read out the description of the elixir of health?
When you drink this potion, it cures any disease afflicting you, and it removes the blinded, deafened, paralyzed, and poisoned condition.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm really sorry. I skipped Larback.
Oh.
Yeah, I skipped Larback, guys, so sorry about that.
That's okay.
I just want to...
I'd skip me too, it's fine.
All he does is a saving throw, right?
Okay, so just, before we went too far there, Larback, it's your turn. Concentration was broken. The fire is gone. You are paralyzed. Though, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's your turn.
So it's just a save at the end of the turn, or
Yes, that's right.
and is that wisdom?
That one is a wisdom saving throw. DC 11 is not enough. You are still paralyzed, unfortunately, Larback. Okay, now it's Kiri's turn.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. If you could just read the elixir again.
Yeah, of course. When you drink this potion, it cures any disease afflicting you, and it removes the blinded, deafened, paralyzed, and poisoned conditions. So she goes to Zeke, opens his trap, pours it down his gullet, and smacks him on the cheek.
Immediately tries to put out the fire that's no longer there.
Okay, excellent. Anything else for you? It was your bonus and your action?
So I used 15 of my movement. If I could use a little bit more movement just to maybe head back. Do I have enough movement to head back into the rubble that I was just in?
So you used 25, and although the hyena has 50, once you shapeshift back, it goes by your movement, so you only have 5 feet left.
Thank you so much for reminding me. I'll stay where I am.
Okay, sounds good. Turds, it is your turn.
Keep it simple again. Turds will move half of his, well, quarter of his 30 feet. So I guess 2 grids on this one on the next. He'll continue moving diagonally forward to the right.
Yep, there you go.
And from there, just because I am 10 feet from the mirror, that is right there.
It's 15 feet from the mirror.
15 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to do a perception check, or I guess where would that be best phase? I want to check the mirror for if it, because he appeared sort of from the mirror on the opposite end of the floor, if there's anything, I guess, off about this mirror or anything that makes it look different than the one that's over there. Just anything other than it just being a mirror, a reflective surface right there.
Okay, are you going to use your action to do this or just with your passive?
That would be my action.
That will be your action? Okay,
Sure.
Go ahead and give me a perception or an investigation, please. Perception of 8. Looking at the mirror, despite its size and grandeur, it just appears to be a normal mirror. You just see reflections at this angle of the telescope up on the platform and the other mirror, which then allows you to see Larback in the corner. Okay, that's it for turds. Zeke, you are up.
Okay, I'd like to stand up. And then can I grab Kiri without, or would that take a full action, or if she's willing?
Depends on what you want to do after you.
I basically want to, I want to grab Kiri and pull her with me, and then I want to dash and try to get over to the rocks to get a little more cover.
Okay. Yep. So grabbing her, if she's willing to go with you. It's not her turn, so you're almost dragging her. So you'd move at half your movement. And you used half your movement to get up as well.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but 15 movement to get up, so that leaves me with 45 after dashing. So pulling her, I'd have 20 feet of movement. So I wouldn't even be able to get in there, would I?
Yep, you would, actually. You would.
Then I would like to do that.
Okay,
yeah.
Sounds good.
As you get closer, all you can hear is Larback going,
I'll put you there,
Desperately trying to do anything.
you are in cover there, Kiri, even though I can't balance you on it.
That's okay. You just hear her go, wow! And gets pulled.
Let's go.
Sorry, why were you prone?
Paralyzed fell down, I assume.
Paralyzed, you don't go prone.
Well, you become incapacitated when you're paralyzed. Just let me double check. You just can't take actions or reactions. So that's different than unconscious. So my bad. Thank you for that, Paul. So you would have 15 feet of more movement if you'd like to go another square with both of you. Deeper into
Yeah, I'll actually, as long as Kiri's in the cover, I'll just take a step a little bit away from her, like 5 more feet away.
Okay. This way? Like deeper in?
Yeah.
Sounds good. It is the creature's turn. Gonna try a recharge on the paralysis, which fails. So bonus action, you see its head turn around, looking at all of you in an eeny, meeny, miny, mo kind of way as it begins to stare at Astian.
Gonna burn a fate sphere.
Astian burns a fate sphere as he doesn't like the look of this creature.
I saw what happened to Larback.
Kiri, it turns...
Last time you looked at someone, he's over in the corner squealing like a turtle.
It turns its sights to you, Kiri.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to burn a fate sphere.
Fate sphere it is. A 3, making our way down through the list for Zeke.
Fate sphere.
Zeke's.
Here comes the whole deluge of fate spheres.
Are we just going in? I guess we're going in sequence today.
I'm going to burn my last fate sphere.
Okay, last fate sphere being burned.
It's got to come to me now, right?
Oh no, it's going to be me again.
5. Wow.
Yeah, I'll burn the fate sphere. Why not?
Okay, well, we need a 6 to finish off the 1 through 6 here. Come on. Let's go for the 6. It's a 3. Zeke.
Fate sphere.
There's the 6.
Oh, I'm gonna let it happen.
What's that? Sorry, I didn't hear.
I'm gonna let it happen. No fate sphere.
Okay, letting it happen. Okay, then I need a charisma saving throw for you, please, Turds, as it tries to use its corruption bonus action. A 22. As this creature sets its gaze upon you, Turds, it focuses down on you.
Little one, I need your help. We must keep everything in this room nice and safe, This place is of great importance.
But despite its high charisma and intense gaze, you shake off its attempt to charm you, and you are not charmed. So with that out of the way, it grows frustrated and begins casting a 5. That would be
Fate sphere.
Matt. Fate sphere, you said?
Yeah.
Larback.
Oh, Larback.
With no fate spheres remaining, this creature sets its gaze upon you. As it gathers fire in its hands and unleashes a fireball aimed directly at you, radiating out 20 feet, 15 feet to hit all 3 of you. I need dexterity saves from Zeke and from Kiri. Unfortunately, as you are paralyzed, Larback, you do not get a save. A 9
She's going.
9 for Zeke and a 17 for Kiri. Not enough for any of you as the fireball explodes amongst you. Dealing 8d6 fire damage. Okay, I just want to see if you get any sort of bonus for your dex save due to cover. +2 bonus to AC and dexterity saving throws, so you get +2 to that. Which would have given you an 11, Zeke, which is still not enough.
Yep.
And Kiri's also in that from what you said earlier. She's just not balanced on it, right?
19 for Kiri, which is not enough.
Oh, all right.
All 3 of you. No, the DC is 20 for all of his spells. 22 fire damage to all 3 of you.
Can you repeat that? 22?
22, yes.
Awesome. I have a question, actually, regarding Larbak's temporary HP. That transfers over, even though I dropped out of wild shape, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
I am unconscious.
Zeke falls unconscious and is dying.
This is definitely the naughty corner over here.
Actually, I also have to make, I'm not sure if I have to make it on my turn, but I've got concentration, so I've got to make a concentration save.
Yep, so the DC is 10 or half the damage taken. This was 22, so your DC is 11 on your...
Okay.
I do as well, for protection of evil and good, that she's doing nothing anyway.
Okay. And if both of you could make your concentration saves, please.
It's just my con save, right?
Larbak passes and is still concentrating.
Yay!
Kiri, 2 is a fail on your concentration. Is your bark skin, I believe,
That was my bark skin, yeah.
is now gone. Okay, so the creature's turn is now resolved, although it will move just 5 feet over to the side. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we are at the top of round 4 for you guys, and it is Matt's turn, who's currently up on the platform by the boards.
Okay, so it would be more than a free action to stow the shield to pick up and stow, right? That would be a full action.
Right.
Yeah, okay, cool. So Matt will be like, holy smokes! How about that for a strike? That was a big boom! Crikey! Better take it down quick! And he will action, again, do what he does and shoot his bow at it.
Okay, attack action with the bow.
Yes.
23
I
hits.
don't need to probably roll a d4, but I will. Just for 26 damage, 26 to hit.
Yep, you strike.
Doing that, plus that, plus that.
So a total of 12 piercing with your favored foe, and what's the other one?
Favored foe and Slayer's Prey.
Slayer's Prey. All right. Total of 12 piercing against the creature. Your arrow punctures through its neck, or like grazes its neck, drawing blood.
And then he will stand next to the telescope.
Okay.
Can I, as a free action, move it?
You've
look through it, actually.
Oh no, you didn't use your free object interaction. Yeah, sure, you can move it.
Can I look through it as a free action?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a perception check. I'll say at disadvantage because you already used your action.
Yep.
15.
My passive.
It's a little bit disorienting because as you look through this small opening, all of a sudden all you see is, despite the cloud cover, you're somehow magically able to penetrate through the cloud cover, and you just see stars and then this red sphere, which you would know, you've never seen it this close or in this much detail, but is the moon of Nyla that once every 40 days is close enough to Oriya that the light reflected off of Pala into the center of the planet is tinged with a bit of red. You are now seeing Nyla in great detail, and you can just see that the whole planet is like, or moon I should say, is undulating with like red flaming like fog mixed with like gray smoke. It just looks like it's churning and broiling, and you had no idea that this is what Nyla looked like, but you know now.
He'll just, under his breath, be like, holy smokes.
Okay, so that's it for Matt. Next up is Astian.
Okay, if you could rotate the map a little bit just so I can see. I want to see kind of a little bit back. Yes, perfect. So 2 spaces diagonal of Astian is where I would like to move to right now.
2 spaces diagonal this way?
Yeah, towards the right, the pillar that appears to be on the right.
Oh, over here.
The kind of cluster over there.
Yeah, so 1, 2.
Okay. And gonna hit him with a warhammer to start with, and we'll see where we go from there.
Sounds good. 7.
No, I'm not gonna hit him.
Not enough.
Then I'm gonna try to flurry of blows.
Use another key point for 2 unarmed attacks.
Yep. 15 and 13.
13. You're shocked by how quick this creature is as it pulls its leg away from you. Just kind of twists its whole body, using its like wings to give it a bit more speed.
Then all the way to the pillar then. And that'll be it for me.
Like to it here or behind it?
To it. I think if I go behind it, I'll get attacked. So I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Oh, I understand. All right. So you move up to there.
Yep.
Larbak, it is your turn. You are still paralyzed. Okay. At the end of your turn, I need you to make that wisdom saving throw again, please. 12 is not enough. Still paralyzed. Kiri.
All right, looking around, she looks at the monster, looks at her husband, says to him, even though he's unconscious, come on, I gotta try and kill this guy. I can't keep saving your butt. Walks up to him and grabs one of the potions on his belt. Again, opens his gullet, pours it in, smacks him on the cheek, but a second time.
How many times do I owe you now?
Can you please get it together?
Okay.
Okay, 2d4 plus 2 healing potion, please.
Okay. Sorry, take away that 5.
Yep.
It's just 1 plus 1 plus 2.
Yep, so 4 hit points back for Zeke.
I'm alive.
You okay?
I feel good as well. I'm all right. I'm getting there.
Right as rain?
Right as...
Okay.
All right, so you are conscious with 4 hit points, but still prone. Anything else for Kiri?
That's my turn.
All right. Turds, it is your turn.
With the utmost difficulty and strain, he steps the 2 feet up onto the ledge immediately to his right, towards that mirror, And that is the end of his turn.
Sounds good. Zeke, you are conscious, 4 hit points and prone.
I'll painfully pull myself up to standing, using half my speed, and then I'll, take one step away from Kiri and them just to try to stay in cover, but make a little more space. And I'll cast Eldritch Blast at the creature. Where's my mouse? That's a miss.
Miss. Anything else for Zeke as your Eldritch Blast goes wide, striking the wall behind the creature at the far end?
I'll just try to crouch down a bit to protect myself, but that's it.
Top of the round. It is the creature's turn. Trying for the recharge on the paralysis, it fails. Looking around, eyeing each of you in turn with its bonus action, it eyes Larback, as there seems to be a magnet on the floor. Larback, I do need you to make a save versus charm, charisma saving throw, please. DC 12.
Which I have an advantage.
Dare I ask, would it actually target him, noting he's paralyzed?
I can't use logic in round 1 of COF. It's already been established. I just go with the rules.
I appreciate the effort.
Trying to save you, man.
That's a... No, you have advantage. Yeah, a 20 is enough. You are no longer paralyzed, Larback. Welcome back to the fight.
Oh, was that him attacking me, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't...
You are not charmed. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I got excited for you on the paralyzed.
Don't worry, Eyes of Truth. I've got it.
Yeah, you are not charmed. In frustration, the creature looks around, grabbing its staff firmly. It begins to radiate shadowy wisps. As it begins the multi-attack action with its staff called Deathly Ray, which it does 3 times. The first one is coming towards Larback.
I should still be in melee with it, right?
Pardon me?
Just I should still be in melee with it, correct? Which should help Larback slightly.
Because you're within 5 feet? Oh,
yes.
A hostile enemy within
if there's an enemy hostile
disadvantage.
within 5 feet, should give disadvantage on ranged attacks, I believe.
Okay, just gonna look that up. I thought it was just the target, but maybe you're right. Let me.
I believe it is enemy in general.
And he's paralyzed, so it would be straight roll.
Yeah.
Better than advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
I really appreciate the efforts, guys. Take pity on Larback.
Larback, you're going to have to write a very strongly worded letter to D&D Beyond.
Everyone from now on will just be like, please not 4, please not 4.
If you watch back some of the episodes, a lot of them were 4s.
It's been consistently like the first round drop has been 4.
The first fate sphere will be rolled on someone who gets nominated 4. Can I re-roll that? Can it be someone else?
You have disadvantage if you are within 5 feet of a hostile creature. Yeah, okay. Good call.
Try and roll
Ethan. So that would just be a
doing my best.
Great roll here for this first one coming at Larback. A 22 to hit, Larback.
Oh, yeah.
For once the dice disappear.
76.
31 necrotic damage on that first blast.
So I need to work something out. So I am dead outright. because that was 6. 6 brings me down to 0. And then I have 24 hit points.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Larback.
Oh, God.
With the first deathly ray, it strikes you dead in the chest as you are unable to move, and you feel the necrotic energy beginning to dissolve your flesh. Is there anything you can think of within the rules of COF that could save your life at this time?
I'm just going to quickly check.
Yeah, no,
but I don't think so.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
No. I can't use my reaction because I'm paralyzed. Even with a +2 to the cover, no. Nothing.
All right. With that, you strain to look down, knowing something just doesn't feel right as your body just begins to evaporate from the inside out, and Larback is turned to ash.
As I'm going out, could I mutter something?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I go, Thermagol, you have cheated me again!
And with that, Larback, you have fallen and have been eliminated from Crucible of Fate. I'm so sorry, Ben. Larback, extremely entertaining. You just had so much bad luck with the Fate Spheres and so many 4s coming up. Man,
it happens.
It does. But thank you so much for being a part of the show. I really appreciate it. You're still not out 100%. All of the people that are fallen, there's going to be a bracket for the fallen, which will be primarily PvP to earn their way back in. It'll be a bit of a tougher go, but you're not out of the Crucible entirely, just out of the normal progression play.
No, that's fine.
All right. Anything anyone wants to say? Ben, anything you want to say?
No. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully you aren't incapacitated for an entire fight. But no, good luck, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
All right.
With Larback being turned to ash in front of you all, at this moment, after his elimination from the Crucible, the portals open up beside each of you. Matt, do you go through the portal or remain behind?
Yeah, straight through the portal.
Matt jumps through the portal. Astian.
Well, going to disengage, run over to Larback, grab Larback, and then through the portal with Larback. I think I have enough movement to do that.
We'll go 5, 10, 15. You grab a handful of what was once Larback.
Oh, it's completely melted off.
It's ash. Its flesh is.
No, just gonna big.
His gear is laying.
Mementos. Grab the gear and it trinkets.
All right, so just roll me a 1d4.
1d4.
Is it an action to grab it all, or is it just a free?
It's an action to loot, and we've kind of established that 1d4 is the number of things that you can grab. So this includes backpack, pouches, or anything that was in his hands. And I'm just going to check his character sheet to see what he had on him in terms of backpacks and stuff. So just give me a sec, guys.
Because I was wondering if you said you used your action to disengage.
I disengaged, so.
Oh, okay, so you don't.
Yeah, no, I don't get to do that.
All right. Would you get to loot anything at disadvantage? Free object interaction. I'd let you grab one thing.
Okay. the gem that Hugh had hanging around his wrist.
Right. I might have to check with him.
No idea what it is. Just it's a pretty little thing.
Yep. I might have to check with him. I have a feeling it's like an arcane focus, but I'm just gonna take a quick look. I don't see anything in his backpack that meets that description. There is a crystal that would have been hanging from his wrist. So yeah, you grab that crystal and book it back out.
Yep.
Kiri.
Yeah, upon seeing that, absolutely through the portal as quick as I can. I hope I have enough movement if I dash.
The portal appears right beside you.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Yes, hop through as quickly as possible.
Kiri leaves the battlefield. Turds.
What I've seen when Ethan moved, did the portal go with it?
No.
Sorry, when
Astian moved, no,
Astian.
the portal did not move with him.
Okay. All right. I wish to move towards the mirror, and I want to actually lay a hand on it and see if it's solid.
Okay. You use...
Do I have enough movement to do that?
Yeah. You have 2 this turn, because I think last time you just stepped up with 1, so you have 2 this time. You step up, you use your free object interaction, you put your hand on the mirror, and you just feel the cool touch of mirrored glass.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
In that case, I'll be making my efforts back to the portal then.
All right.
When I can.
With your last of your movement, you move back to the portal and leave. Zeke.
I would like to run up to the body, try to grab something and through the portal. I can't tell if I need to use my dash action. I'd like to do that and free action grab it.
Okay, so from where you are, you use 5, 10, 15, 20 gets you up to him.
Would I be able to get back into the portal without a dash action? Into Kiri's portal?
Yeah. Well, Kiri's portal's gone now, but you can get back. You used 20, I just said?
I think so, yeah.
With your dash action, you would have enough to get back, yeah. You can use your free object interaction to grab one thing. So just to be clear again, he has a backpack. And then on his belt, clothes. Yeah. So on his belt, you would see okay, roll me. No, I don't need to roll. You to roll anything. You get one item. Roll me a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah, if I can see any gift shop items I saw in the gift shop, I would focus on that.
Yeah, that's why I wanted the perception check, just to see how aware you have, or you're passive. So whichever is higher. 16. All right. So with a 16. You see the potion from the gift shop and a small pouch. There's another potion on his belt. So you see the one from the gift shop. There's another one right beside it. And then you see a small pouch that you think that the pearl would have fit in from the gift shop.
I would grab that pouch then and try to book it back to the portal.
Okay, so you grab the pouch with the pearl and you book it back out, disappearing. And all of you have now left. And with that, we have our first fallen of episode 9. I really wasn't expecting the death outright on that initial attack of 3, but hey, these are some powerful creatures. So sorry to see Larbak go. Thanks so much for playing, Ben. Really great to have you on the show, and very entertaining character, and hope to see you in the final elimination bracket in the PvP area that's going to come in the fall before we finish off round 1. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We will see you in part 2. Take care.